Hey guys, it's Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. Gonna redo a classic that I did a long time ago. We're gonna learn how to do Wanted Dead or Alive, kind of a more proper way. I'm actually gonna use a 12 string for this one. And update, the whole cameras, everything's a lot more updated these days. So I thought this would be due for a redo 10 years later. So I hope you guys will join me. We're gonna look at all the acoustic parts and of course Richie's really cool solo as well. Now, before I get into it, please subscribe to all my videos by just hitting subscribe for this channel and ringing the bell and watching the videos and all that stuff. It really helps and helps keep this channel alive. If you really want to keep this channel alive, though, the best way to do it is join my Guitar Academy. You're going to see a link to it in the description below. That link will give you a free 7-day trial as well. And full access to all of my courses, from courses for complete beginners to more advanced courses on technique, improvisation, ear training, theory, guitar tone. I'm live every weekend, which is like a live stream just for Academy members. So it's a lot of fun. Got a great community over there. Please come join us. All right, let's jump into this. So in standard tuning, but on a 12 string. So obviously you don't have to have, I originally taught this on a 6 string as well. But obviously it sounds a little bit more authentic if you do. So anyway, we have this little intro that starts the song before that really cool main riff happens. There's just a couple things that are happening there. There's this. So you're going to hear that go on in the kind of intro stuff before the main little riff comes in. So what that is, that's a harmonic at the 7th fret on the D string. And then 12th fret on the A, and then 12th on the D. Like obviously, if you're not using a 12 string, this harmonic is going to sound a little bit different because I'm in 2 strings here. That's just going to sound a little bit different. And then it goes to a D suspended second chord. If you don't know what that is, it's just a regular D major chord, but you're going to pick up the note that's on the high E string and just strum across. And that's what you're kind of hearing in the intro before the proper riff comes in. And then you have that. So let's take a look at that. So it's kind of like the same pattern, but the thing that's a little bit tricky about it is he's sliding the note down on the G string as you're picking the note on the D string. So when we start, we don't have to worry about that. It's just the open D string, and then the 14th fret on the G string, then the 13th on the high E, then back to the 14th fret on the G. So now here, where we're going to go to the next one, the same figure, which is the same picking. So we're basically picking the D string, G string, high E, back to the G, starting with the open D string, but this 12th fret on the G and the high E. So we have those first 2 figures, and then now let's figure out the actual, what's the hard part here that's going to happen between all the changes is. So as you're picking the open D string to restart the pattern, that's going to be sliding down with it. So that's what's kind of making this thing a little bit tricky. You got to time that open D string with the slide down. So once you get the hang of it, though, it's not that big of a deal. So after the 2 12s, now these are all, the picking pattern is going to stay the same the whole way. So it's the same 3 strings we're messing with here. Now the notes are going to go down to the open D, 10 on the G, 10 on the high E string. So we have this. And then we're going to go down to 9 on the G, 8 on the high E. Take it down now to the 5th on the G and the high E. Then the 4th on the G and 3rd on the high E. And here he's going to do a little bit different thing to end it. You're going to hit that after you've picked across those notes, the regular picking pattern. You're going to pick the 4th fret there on the G again, slide down to the 2nd fret, and then as you let this ring, grab the 1st fret on the high E. So that's it. So hit this all together. Now, the rest of it's the same except this first hit on the open D when you start over the repeat, it's kind of a little hit on the upbeat. So it's dum, bum, bum, bum. So it's not in the bum 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 bum. It goes bum 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 bum. Just because there's a little bit of a pause there. And then everything is the same. So all together. So that's 2 times down that riff, and then we have this. So what that is, it's the open A string twice, and then over to the 3rd fret on the A. I'm going to slightly pull those notes out. Up to the open D strings, and then you're going to slightly pull down the 3rd fret on the D. And then back to the open D. Wait. So when you get to that open D the 2nd time, grab that D sus2 chord we had before. And what you're doing, you're just kind of picking across it from the high string. Not like a definitive pattern he does there. It's slightly different whenever he goes through it. So you just kind of like, just start with the high E string. I'm kind of pick it from the high E down to the G and then back the D to the G. So like this. Repeat. And the 4th time through it. So it starts with that same, like we're gonna go to that riff again, but it quickly goes to an F major chord. He plays it like you play it like an F major bar chord. He plays it with his thumb, like a thumb chord. And then he really plays just a D power chord. He doesn't hit the full major chord there. It's just the open A and D, and then the 2nd fret of the G, and then the 3rd fret of the B. And then we get to the verse, and we go to straight D major here with some little chord embellishments on it. So it looks like this. The chorus. So basically does that verse kind of riff twice. So it's basically going to start with this D major chord. And then it does a little melody on the high E string, so with the strum chord underneath, obviously, but just the melody itself is just 3, 2, 0, and then hammer 0 back onto that 2 on the high E string. So you hear that. So it goes. So from there, it just goes to this C major add 9. So that's just gonna, you still hold those 2 notes that you have in on the G string, G chord there, but on the 3rd fret of the B and the G. So 3rd fret on the B and the high E, it's a G note on top. And then you can have that 3rd fret on the A string and 2nd fret there on the D string. And then take it down these 2 notes up 1 string each, so you get the 3rd fret on the low E and the 2nd fret on the A there. Well, proper G major chords over there. So he throws a little fill in there when he gets to the G. And that fill is a hammer on from the open A string, hammer on to the 2nd fret, then the open D, and then the open G. So we're going to have this. And then go back to that C chord, C add 9, and then back to the G, and that same fill again, and then grab that F chord, back to the D major. So all together for 1 time through the verse, and it's just going to repeat this for the 2nd time. So it looks like this. So by the way, that when I got to that D at the end, there's a lot of variations you can do in that D. A lot of times he plays the D and then he'll just pick up that note on the high string, just kind of pick across it like we did earlier, or a little hammer on, pull off that top notes. He kind of just does a random variation whenever he gets to that part. So you'll see me do that there at the end of the verse. So it looks like this. And then we have the chorus, looks like this. All right, so that's going to start here with this C add 9. By the way, when you hear this a lot, sometimes you hear those top notes really lightly. And so it almost sounds like a normal situation. But you always can kind of hear, if you hear it, you just hit the bottom of the chord and then very light in the next, you can hear those top notes when he's on like the C add 9 version of it in the background. So I'm pretty much playing that the whole day. I'm not doing a normal C because I don't really kind of, like I said, sometimes it's mostly playing the lower strings when it sounds like that, but he's always going to grab those eventually. So we'll stick with that C chord. So we're going to stay here with this C to G, same fill to the F, to the D with, like I said, just picking across it. So that's initially when you get into the chorus. It's like that. So with this. Now here, he's going to do a walk-up some of the times. So you're going to hear that in the song, some of the times in the chorus, a little bit in the verse sometimes. Live, he does it pretty much almost every time. But it's when he's getting to this C chord, I'll kind of let you use it whenever you want, but you're going to hear it in the track every once in a while. But it's leading into this C add 9 chord, he'll go 0, 2, 3 on the A string. Just kind of lead into that chord, then back to the G, and then we have this. So I have that little pull on the 3 thing that like we did in the intro of the song. That happens there, and it goes back to the C, G, and just end it with the D chord there. So it's that same lick we already covered. So all together for the chorus there, we're going to have this. then it gets back into the main riff. There's a little solo there. It's just kind of out of D minor pentatonic, but I didn't really take the time to really, it's kind of a bend at the 13th fret on the B and then a bend on the 12th fret on the G, kind of starts it and stuff, but there's not a lot to it, so I didn't really cover that, little overdub solos. We're going to take a look at the main solo definitely though. All right, but then after that we get to, so that's going on over that riff. Then we get to the, which we've already covered, so then we get to the verse and then the chorus. Now this chorus is a little simplified, the second chorus. It doesn't have that, so it's pretty much, so it is. So basically what you're going to find is as they thicken up the sound, they start adding electric guitars and distorted guitars to it. You're going to hear less of those fills going on. It's just they just letting the chords ring, no tricky fills or anything like that. All right, so that's just little slight variations you can hear in the second chorus. And then it gets to that main riff again that we covered in the intro. That's going to lead us to the solo. Now the solo is over, once again, just a simplified verse, that little. So without simplified verse, meaning just play the chords without the little chord embellishments or the little fills. It's just like. So that's all it's really going to be for the solo. Now, let me take a look at the solo for you. I'll play through his solo. I'll switch to electric real quick, and I'll play through the solo for you note for note. All right, so that's fun. There's a lot of just digging in and doing some pinch harmonics in this. There's a quick little lick in there, but it's mostly just kind of digging in and just bringing what you can out of the string. So, hard to create exactly like he's doing it because of that, but we'll do our best. So it kind of starts with a slide, and then you're gonna have this. So after that slide, I'm just gonna play 5-3 on the A, then slide back up to the 5. So that's the first time. The other times, I'm not gonna do a slide. I'm just gonna go 5-3, 5, and maybe hammer back on. So we have this like that. So basically, same thing done twice, but played a little differently. You can hear those palm mutes. That's very, very important. Just really thickens it up. Gives it that rhythmic quality. And then he goes 5-3, 5 on the A, over to 3 on the D, and then does a series of bends at the 5th fret on the D string with some pitch harmonics. And then back to the 3. So just really dig in, bring out some pinch harmonics. So that's the opening little phrase. And then he has this. So that's a quick little picking lick. We're gonna play 12-14 on the G, 13-15 on the B, 13-15 on the high E string, into a whole step in. Release, pull off to 13, and then do that bend to the 15 again. So with this. All right, then we're gonna jump back here. So that's kind of, so what I'm here, like I said, truth be told here, a lot of this section, especially the very end of the solo, it's so heavily palm muted, it's really difficult to hear all the notes he's doing there. He's just really he's really filling up the sound and just hard to hear because it's so heavily palm muted. But what I'm getting, something like that. So it's just really heavily palm muted 0-3 on the A string. And then you're gonna grab a pinch harmonic at the 5th fret on the D, kind of a quick bend and release. And then we're going to do this. Heavily palm muted again on the A. 0, 3, 5. Oh, 0, 3, 5. Then open A. And then you're going to slide just that C power chord at the 3rd fret. Up to the 5th fret. So. All right, then we're going to do a phrase like this. So once again, it's just kind of messing around with this area, but just really hitting a lot of pinch harmonics. So it starts with that 3, 5 on the A to that 3 on the D string. Kind of really bend that, pull that down with the pinch harmonic. Back to the 5th fret on the A string. And then we're going to go 3, 5 muted on the A, 3 on the D, and then once again, you kind of doing those pinch harmonics on the 5th fret on the D while slightly pulling it and resolve it back to that 5th fret. So this, I'm sorry, 3rd fret. So then he kind of does something similar, but just a kind of abbreviated version of what he just did. So just to the 3rd fret first, back to the 5 on the A, then back to kind of a bend to the 5, pull off, resolve to the 3 again. So it looks like this. Just dig it in. Just do whatever you want to. All right, and then we have this lick towards the end of the solo here. Now, when I've seen him do this live, and he does all the, he does it there. But it's not where it's played on the original recording, because you can hear a high note in there as well. It's played like this on the original recording. Kind of that standard blues lick. So we're going to play it there, but you will see him play it down the bend here at the 8th fret on the B live, but he doesn't get that high note, but we will hear. So if you want to make it sound like you're recording, you're going to bend at the 12th fret on the G, and then you're going to play the 13th on the B. Then you're going to do the bend again at the 12, but now you're going to pick the 13 on the high E string, and that's that high note that you can't get down here. So, and then you're going to do a bend. Then the 3rd time through, you're going to pick that 13 on the B again. So, and just do the bend, release, down to the 10th fret. Then we have this really heavily palm muted thing that ends the solo, and it's kind of something similar to this. Like I said, it's going to be hard to get exactly what's going on because it's just, everything's just like a big thud. It's like boom, 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 boom. But, so what I'm doing, which is just, I'm playing 0, everything heavily palm muted, 0, 3, 0 on the A. And then I'm just kind of doubling this A here at the 5th fret on the low E string, then 3, 1 on the low E. And then into just like a D power chord. So that means just don't hit the high E string. We're going to hit the full one, but I just hit the D power chord. We'll get back to the 12 string now for the rest of the song. All right, so now this chorus that comes out of the solo is kind of just shortened. It's kind of, in the second time through, it stops on the G. And it has a little... kind of starts building back up. So just the second time through the chord progression, just stop on the G, do that little... and just build up that D major chord. And then it goes back from there, it goes to the verse, but it obviously sounds bigger than the original verses because it's got the rock guitar with it as well now too. and back into the chorus again, the last chorus in the song. It's played similar to the early choruses, obviously with the big rock sound this time, but there's a little extension to add it with it. So they're kind of, that little part of the chorus is kind of extended. So it looks like this when they're doing that. They do this like twice. So they play the original chorus and then they go into this. So that's just that same riff into a G. So that little fill, and then into the G major chord, and then do the fill again into the D major. So just bending that 3, open D, and bending the 3 on the D. So to the G, same thing into the D. Now repeat all of that. And from there, we just get the that main riff again. That's just gonna end. It ends slightly differently, so we're gonna have to play through it. So it looks like this. So you can see I kind of played it the same way the first time through, and that second time I just started to slow down. So it kind of just starts slowing down there. And you just stop that picking pattern when you get there. That's the last one. We do the 4 on the G and the 3 on the high E. That's where you stop. And then you just come over here and grab a D major chord. And you end the track like that. All right, so hope you guys enjoyed it. It is a fantastic song. And Richie Sambora's got some really great stuff in it. So hope to see you again for GuitarLessons365.com.